I'm Margaret Ann Windsor, and I was kidnapped in 41, and at age 2, my father's Edward VIII, who was taken down with character assassination, and God knows the lies that have been told about him and are still being told. History is a total lie. He was married to my mom, Claudia Ruth O'Keefe Windsor. 1936, they were still alive when I came to Roanoke and living together, always. October the 20th of 86. The whole fiasco, Wallace Simpson, American Spy, married a double. There were several imposters claiming to be my father. She married one of them, and that's buried at Frogmore, Windsor, as a royal, and as was still using my father's name, King Edward VIII. It was supposed to have abdicated to marry Wallace. He was married to my mom, for God's sake. Then I was born in 39, so they had to kidnap me, bring me to Moulton, Alabama, and give me the name of a twin, Peggy. Carl and Peggy were both killed by their mother, Lina Dempsey, and it was covered up because she would face a gas chamber back then. She continued to try to kill me, especially when I was doing the book. She was afraid it would bring some notoriety if it were published. And after all, I'd gotten a letter from the FBI, ongoing investigation, national security involved. So she figured that it's the way she tried to have me killed. And Jack Hartsfield, the reporter, FBI agent there, was the one that helped save my life. So you had such a fiasco. They'd already almost killed me April Fool Day of 80. Anyway, back to this. Listening to Clooney, George Clooney, the actor who's married to a famous civil rights attorney. I believe, I'm correct, she's from Italy. So where are all these civil rights that I've never NAACP, civil rights here, the organizations. I've never gotten any help from any of them. Anybody. Some people, well, I understand I'm alive, but the laws that have been broken against me and my children, my mom and dad, country, and part of this has been done to your own people, the mind control murders that I've written about, talked about. And I wanted to mention this. It goes into another that I uploaded video a couple of days ago off of, maybe I wish I hadn't put this up. I don't know. I'm bouncing back and forth. I got something I got to do, and it's cold and everything here. I have to do it today. So anyway, gets back to, now I'm going to forget his name, Timothy Leary. At one point, he was out at Mr. Flint's years and years and years ago. It was years and years ago since I was out there in that campaign, October of 83, to replace a doctor, U.S. Congressman Larry McDonald I'd written about, who supposedly went up in the KAL that veered into Russian airspace August the 31st of 83, and 296 or 286 people went down, drowned. He was supposed to be on it. It's said that it was a takedown just to make it appear that he was on it. And Nixon was on the plane to South Korea, and he was taken off just prior to takeoff, along with Geraldo Rivera, the reporter. Now back to this, because this gets into another, trying to give background and all this. Meghan Markle is biracial. So she's supposed to marry Harry, and Harry's probably not even Harry. And that segment of the royal family is not the royal family. First of all, there's a question if Elizabeth's even a Windsor. I mean, seriously, I didn't believe it or tend to at first that she wasn't George, the illegal six. He was appointed, went along with the Illuminati and Rockefellers, Rothschilds, Bilderbergers, Kennedys, Roosevelt, and they made him king. How's that? Took my beautiful father down and mother and kidnapped his only daughter And I'm the legal heir now because papers that were made by my father, he never meant to leave whatsoever. They took him down because he was the good man, honest, and look what history's done to him. Now then, why am I making this morning? I've already made one, and I lost a piece of paper because I got some things I've got to do, and I was trying to get that in order. Somehow I've lost the sheet of paper I had. I had put something up about George Clooney. Where are all these civil rights activists, these women's rights that have never been there for me? When my husband and I went and got the letter from the feds, I'd say when Larry Flint was shot, I was doing the book in Marietta, Georgia. He was shot in Lawrenceville. During that time, I was taking documents, papers, legal. I wasn't able to tell about my kidnapping at the time. It was a little later. Although I always questioned, and I was told, I worked for doctors and worked for the district attorney and a group of attorneys on a temp. So anyway, I was told that I always knew subconsciously my real name, and and I did. I remembered being brought there and dropped off at Moulton, and the portrait of my father holding me in my christening gown was up against that dirty wall there in the dirt, putting the dirt As the two men handed me to line, I remember the picture. I had really blonde, curly hair, and it was summer. I was sleeveless, and the two men put the portrait down on this side next to the old shack they lived in. And the one that would be Grandma Lima's mother, they were talking to. I really can't remember. It was something about the Dempseys thought they were going to get money out of this, out of keep him in. They were going to cover up the murders of the twins. Now that you talk about laws that have been broken, everything has been. And where are the Clooneys? Where are the attorneys that wouldn't touch it? Where are, it boils down to the Illuminati, the global government, the end times. I did not know that, had no idea. But, I've been doing this on YouTube and running around, getting almost killed April Fool Day of 80, crimes that you can't even begin to touch. Has been an ongoing thing rather than an ongoing investigation all my life. And Meghan Markle married Harry, supposedly Harry. I still think this is staged, whether they know it or not. It would tend to show, if all this is placed before the public once and for all, how Meghan Markle has been invited into the royal family by the whole world, and the real monarch sits here, and my children who are heirs after me have been so brutalized, and I don't even know where they are. I have to pray every day they're alive and well. So if you want to talk about every law in the book and civil rights, I've been destroyed, and my father and mother were destroyed, and my children. And you all have sit by and watched this takedown of the real monarchy and replaced by, because she's African American and she's a soap queen. Soap. Now then, I'll get one on that. You really, and now you got Diana. Diana knew all about this, and everybody was in love with Diana. Why? Because she flounced around in all this money and gave away gowns that weren't hers to charity. Charity. I was begging for food. The things done to me, a roof over my head, while they had limousines showing some of her clothes down here while I was living on the Appalachian Trail. Trying to live. Limos at the Hotel Roanoke, which, by the way, was, I don't know if it is now, owned by Virginia Tech, which the mass shootings happened there April 16th of 2005. That was a program shooting. That young man from South Korea shot 32 and then turned the gun on himself and shot himself. He's the same as the ones that got shot. He's a victim just like them. He was programmed, so it's the programmers that have the motive and are responsible. But where am I going with this? Again, and I thought I wrote it down, now I can't find it because I got busy doing something else in case I get the person comes by. It's going to take me somewhere today, this morning. So anyway, again, Clooney was on there defending Meghan Markle about how bad she's being treated. Well, kiss my grits. What in the HE do you think, if you are made to put all this up before the public, before the world, and they can no longer deny it, what the graphic, ugly, vile things done to my mom and dad, to me and my children, and to the people I talk about that were mind control victims, and all the cover-up. Your Congress has always known about it. Now then, you've got Al Sharpton, the black African-American leader, who's always got somewhere there. Now, none of them have ever mentioned me. Wayne Williams, I went to bat for him. That was a mind control murder. O.J. Simpson was. Brian Nichols is another one, a very nice man who is in prison for life. They were African Americans, but there's more. But then you get Scott Peterson. He's on death row. He's going to die if they don't tell the truth about all this. Now then, I've been called names. Respect. Oh my God. Torture. Crimes that are unbelievable done to me and my children. And I guess when I saw that second upload, it's the third actually, because if I'm not mistaken, I saw something on TV Entertainment Tonight or one of them last night. And I thought, they're going to, now then Fairfax is the lieutenant governor of Virginia. And he's now caught up in the scandal that two women accused him of assault. And they're going to have a committee meeting about that. Simply because now then, some time back, was the gentleman who was put before court and he was supposed to have raped. And so he was put up for a Supreme Court justice. So his reputation was up there, and now then it's almost like, well, he was a Republican, I believe. Trump nominated him. Okay, so he went through all this. Now then Fairfax is caught in this. He's the lieutenant governor of Virginia. So now then they're going to say he says he didn't do it, and the two women said they did. So assaulted them, sexual assault. Okay, now then I want to make this comment. The governor of Virginia, just prior to Fairfax ordeal, by the way, this connects to Fairfax, Virginia, and I don't know if all of this is told, you can connect it then. Northam, the governor, was told to resign because of a picture in the annual. His military, I believe, over here in Lexington. He's a physician, a pediatrician. And it was all gung-ho about a picture in his annual. And then Fairfax, before these accusations arose against him by two African-American, credible, they say. I guess I wasn't credible in all this. Oh, my goodness. Please. And you talk about respect. You talk about hate crimes. You got them all rolled into one when you did it to me all my life and to my children. Oh, my God. And I had the gall to love everybody. I really did. I cared about everybody. And look what they've done, except for a handful of people here. You know, there's some, when I say handful, 99% could care less and want me shut up. Anyway, when Clooney came back on this today, they were telling about him on the network news. I thought, oh, and then Fairfax was going in, and he's African American, and Northam's going around to the black college here, and he's apologizing, and he's going to try to make things right. Has anybody watched TV lately the last few years? You know, this thing was civil rights. And I'm all for civil rights. I just haven't had any, not one. My only outlet has been video and Facebook, oddly enough. Where's it got me? I don't know. Nowhere, I guess. But I tried. Every day I tried. So now then, Fairfax is the lieutenant governor, instead of resigning because they've called for his resignation. After Northam, the governor, the picture was supposed to be in the annual, and he was going to be forced out and resign. So what can they do when this now surfaces about the lieutenant governor, who's African American? Well, this is really going to look bad. Everybody's picked up on it and made their comments. So now they've got to do something, especially these two women are African American. Are you following me? I'm telling you the truth. You look, since you brought all this up and you've destroyed me. I'm 80 years old. Only God could step in now, and that's true, and have any kind of justice for me and mine. Anyway, you know where I'm going. Look at your TV, look at your athletes, look at all of it. Okay? Take a note next time and then see if there's majority this, majority that, and what's really going on here. So, I saw this about Clooney, and I don't know if this is going up, and I've got to get up in case I have to run to get my ride here. Crawl's more like it. I thought they're going to go into a court with Fairfax and have a meeting about, is this true about the two women? They seem credible. I have to laugh. I've said this all along, or I couldn't live through it. And I want to say, hey, I'm over here like this little kid in school way back here. Will you pay attention to me? Please, am I next? Do I get a chance for the truth to be told?